Imagine a powerful force, one that can unite millions under a common banner. This force is nationalism. It's a phenomenon that has shaped the course of history, influencing the rise and fall of empires, the creation of new nations, and the identity of countless individuals. It's the feeling of belonging to a group, a nation, with a shared history, culture, and dreams. Nationalism fosters a sense of pride and loyalty, binding people together through shared symbols, traditions, and values. Nationalism can inspire great acts of courage and selflessness. It has driven individuals to fight for their country, to stand up for their rights, and to work towards a common good, often at great personal sacrifice. It can also, unfortunately, lead to conflict and division. When taken to extremes, nationalism can foster xenophobia, exclusion, and even violence, pitting groups against each other and tearing communities apart. Throughout the 19th and 20th centuries, Europe was a hotbed of nationalist sentiment. This era saw the fervent rise of national identities, with people rallying around their flags and leaders to assert their independence and sovereignty. This period saw the rise and fall of empires, the redrawing of borders, and the birth of new nations. The map of Europe was constantly changing, reflecting the dynamic and often turbulent nature of nationalist movements. Understanding nationalism is key to grasping the complex tapestry of modern European history. It provides insight into the motivations behind historical events and the ongoing struggles for identity and autonomy. Nationalism is a bit like gravity, an invisible force that shapes the world around us. It pulls people together, creating a sense of unity and purpose. But it can also create friction and conflict. It's a force that has shaped the destinies of nations and continues to influence global politics today. From the speeches of leaders to the movements of people, nationalism remains a powerful and often contentious force in our world. The year is 1789. In France, a revolution is brewing. The French Revolution was a pivotal moment in European history. It wasn't just about overthrowing a king, it was about the people, the citizens, demanding liberty, equality, and fraternity. The French Revolution ignited the flames of nationalism across Europe. The revolution's ideals spread like wildfire, inspiring people to fight for their own freedoms and challenge the old order. The French Revolution showed the world that ordinary people could rise up and demand change. It showed the power of collective action and the importance of national unity. Enter Napoleon Bonaparte, a brilliant military strategist who rose to power in the aftermath of the French Revolution. Napoleon's conquests spread the ideals of the French Revolution across Europe, but they also ignited fierce resistance. Napoleon's empire was vast, but it was also short-lived. His conquests, while initially spreading French influence, also fueled nationalist sentiments in the lands he conquered. People yearned for self-determination and the chance to govern themselves. Napoleon's legacy is complex. He was both a unifier and a divider. He showed the world the potential power of a unified nation, but he also demonstrated the dangers of unchecked ambition. For centuries, Europe was a patchwork of small states and kingdoms, but in the 19th century, nationalism became a powerful force for unification, leading to the creation of new nation-states. Two prominent examples are the unification of Germany and Italy. In both cases, nationalist movements led by charismatic figures like Otto von Bismarck in Germany and Giuseppe Garibaldi in Italy succeeded in uniting fragmented regions into powerful nation-states. The unification of Germany and Italy were landmark events in European history. They demonstrated the power of nationalism to reshape the political landscape and create new centers of power. Section 5. Shades of nationalism, liberal versus conservative. Nationalism is not a monolithic ideology. It comes in different flavors. Two main strands emerged in 19th century Europe: liberal nationalism and conservative nationalism. Liberal nationalism championed individual rights, constitutional government, and representative democracy. It saw the nation as a community of equal citizens, united by shared values. Conservative nationalism, on the other hand, emphasized tradition, order, and the preservation of existing social hierarchies. These two strands of nationalism often clashed, shaping the political debates of the 19th and 20th centuries. Section 6. Culture's embrace, language, art, and identity. Nationalism isn't just about politics and borders, it's also about culture. Language, art, music, and literature became powerful tools for fostering national identity. Think of the brothers Grimm, who collected and published German folk tales, or the Romantic composers like Verdi in Italy and Wagner in Germany, whose music stirred national pride. They helped to create a shared sense of identity and belonging. Culture became a battleground for nationalist sentiment, a way to define and celebrate what made each nation unique. Section 7. A dangerous path: ethnic nationalism and exclusion. While nationalism can be a powerful force for unity, it can also be twisted into something dangerous. When nationalism is used to promote a sense of superiority over others, it can become a tool for division and hatred. This darker side of nationalism can lead to the marginalization of those who are seen as different or not belonging to the dominant group. Ethnic nationalism, which defines national identity based on shared ethnicity or descent, can lead to exclusion and discrimination. This form of nationalism often creates an us versus them mentality, where those who do not share the same ethnic background are viewed with suspicion and hostility. It can foster an environment where prejudice and bigotry thrive. This form of nationalism often views the nation as an exclusive club, with membership based on bloodlines rather than shared values or ideals. Such an approach can undermine the principles of equality and justice, leading to a society where people are judged not by their character or contributions, but by their ancestry. It can be used to justify discrimination against minority groups and can even lead to violence and genocide. When ethnic nationalism is taken to its extreme, it can result in horrific acts of violence, as history has shown us time and again. The consequences of such ideologies are devastating and long-lasting. The Holocaust, a horrific period in human history, stands as a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked ethnic nationalism. It serves as a powerful example of what can happen when hatred and intolerance are allowed to flourish. The lessons of the past must be remembered to prevent such atrocities from happening again in the future. Section 8. Nationalism's double-edged sword fueling empires. It might seem contradictory, but nationalism, while promoting self-determination, could also be used to justify imperial expansion. European powers, fueled by nationalist fervor, embarked on a period of aggressive colonization, seeking to assert their dominance on the world stage. They argued that they were bringing civilization and progress to other parts of the world, often using their own national superiority as justification for their actions. This led to the exploitation of resources and the subjugation of countless people. The legacy of European imperialism continues to shape the world today. Section 9. Nationalism today, a legacy of unity and division. This section delves into the enduring impact of nationalism, a force that has shaped nations and identities for centuries. From its roots in the 19th century to its manifestations in the modern world, nationalism has been both a unifying and divisive force. Nationalism remains a powerful force in the 21st century. It is a driving factor behind many political movements and continues to inspire people around the globe. The sense of belonging and identity that nationalism fosters can bring people together, creating a shared sense of purpose and pride. It continues to shape global politics, influence elections, and fuel conflicts. Nationalism can be seen in the rhetoric of political leaders, the fervor of election campaigns, and the strife in conflict zones. Its influence is pervasive, affecting international relations and domestic policies alike. From the rise of populist movements to the ongoing debates about immigration and globalization, nationalism's legacy is complex and multifaceted. These movements often tap into nationalistic sentiments, advocating for policies that prioritize national interests over global cooperation. The debates surrounding immigration and globalization further highlight the tensions between national sovereignty and international integration. It is essential to remember that nationalism can be both a force for good and a source of division. While it can unite people under a common identity and purpose, it can also lead to exclusion, discrimination, and conflict. The dual nature of nationalism means that it must be approached with caution and understanding. Understanding its history and its complexities is crucial for navigating the challenges of the 21st century. By studying the past, we can learn valuable lessons about the potential benefits and dangers of nationalism. Historians and scholars provide insights that help us comprehend how nationalism has evolved and how it continues to impact our world. As we look to the future, it's important to harness the unifying potential of nationalism while guarding against its more destructive tendencies. By promoting inclusive and positive expressions of national pride, we can build stronger, more cohesive societies. At the same time, we must remain vigilant against the divisive and exclusionary aspects of nationalism, ensuring that it serves as a force for unity rather than division.